What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to another episode of Cheat Code. Yours truly, DJ Mike Marvelous of Marvelous DJs Cheat Code. So today, I had a situation where a newer DJ asked me, Mike, I don't know which fader to use, right? They see a lot of DJs using what I call the Upfaders or your channel faders, and then they see other DJs using the Crossfader. It got me thinking a little bit. So they're right? Let's get into it. Let's settle this debate now. Which is the right fader to use? Is it the crossfader, the horizontal crossfader, or is it the upfader, the vertical channel fader? Let's settle this debate today on today's Cheat Code. All right, so let's jump right into it. So what I'm talking about is the crossfader here, and this is on my controller, my djsx2, or the crossfader on my scratch mixer, my djms5, right? So are you using the crossfader to mix, right, scratch and mix, or are you using the channel faders, right? So these are your channel faders. I see some DJs will keep the crossfader in the middle and simply use the channel faders as their mixers, right? And I'll explain to you why and some differences in these two mixers. That's why I'm trying to show them both, because there are some mixers that do some things that are a little different. For me personally, I am a crossfader DJ. I use the crossfader, right? The reason I use crossfader is because I mix a lot of hip hop, and with hip hop, I'm scratching and cutting and doing some other things, right? So if I need to scratch and cut, this fader needs to be tight. So as soon as I come out of the fader's gate, it's on. And that's due to my crossfader curve on the front here. So I can adjust the crossfader curve. I'm pointing at the wrong one. It's actually over here. So I can adjust my crossfader curve. So when it is the furthest to the right, as soon as I move this over, and I'll tag the crossfader curve video, I'll just go through it real quickly. You can hear the sound, and that helps to make your scratches a little bit more crisp. If I'm blending, say I rather do a blend, maybe I put it in the middle, right? So now either the middle or maybe 9 o'clock. So now I'm using my crossfader as a blend, right? So I can slowly blend the two songs over. As I push this over, the left deck gets louder, and then I push it all the way over and the right deck goes away. Same goes for this one. This is a scratch mixer, right? Performance mixer djms5. Generally, I'm keeping my faders up and I'm scratching with my crossfader. Again, I can adjust the feeling of the crossfader. Here's the tightest tension. Really starts to feel like a blend fader, or I can go all the way to the left and I can literally just tap it and the thing will jump, right? And that's just allowing me to hit scratches a little bit better. This on the djsx2, the crossfader is good, but not as good as this Magvel Fader Pro on the djms5. And that's the difference between the two crossfaders, right? Now, the up faders, or what I call them, or channel faders, also are different on the two mixers. The channel faders on this is very loose, right? So on the djms5, I have loose channel faders, right? So if I wanted to, I could just set my crossfader to the center, and then I could use my channel faders to really scratch, right? And I've seen some DJs will scratch and then use the up faders for scratching as well. On the djsx2, very tight tension that I cannot adjust on the djsx2. So I would not be able to really hit any really good scratches because it's mostly a volume. It's a channel fader. It's for the volume of the music. So if I'm trying to scratch, I'm not going to get full volume unless I'm like digging in the fader. So maybe that's one reason why I don't use the up faders or the channel faders for that, because I use the crossfader. So why am I using one over the other, and why do we see DJs using the channel fader? In some cases, with the channel fader, it depends on your genre. So I can see EDM DJs not really doing a lot of cutting. I'm just starting to hear EDM DJs do a lot of scratching and cutting, but most of the time, you're blending tracks, right? You're blending two tracks together. You're setting some of the EQ together, and you're slowly fading one in and fading one out. There's normally not a lot of abrupt jump ins. There's bass drops where you're dropping out the music, but most cases are blends, right? For my wedding DJs, if it's dinner time, if you're not running a playlist, then maybe you're doing more blends than cuts, right? So it's not really party time, so you're kind of blending some songs. Cocktail hour probably is a better example, where you're just kind of having a vibe, right? And usually I'm doing more blending when it's that vibe atmosphere than it is cutting. And in that case, I could use the channel faders, right? Because then I can control the volume of the left deck and the right deck, right? This is where I have an issue with the djsx2, right? Well, not really an issue. It's not their problem. It's really mine, right? So it has 4 decks, and I could literally mix 4 decks. It's 2 real decks and then a virtual deck, right? So you'll see virtual 2, virtual 4, or virtual 1, virtual 3. And those other channels are used for those virtual decks, right? So you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can technically blend all 4. It's almost like having 4 CDJs, right? You can do that, but you would definitely be using the upfaders versus the crossfader. All right, I know y'all gonna kill me because I know everybody calls it something different, right? So in the comments, tell me what you call the vertical faders, the channel faders. What do you call them? I call them the upfaders because they always gotta be up. That's why I call them upfaders. So take that. All right, so that is the reason why you see some DJs using the channel faders or the upfaders because they're blending songs. That's the biggest reason why. And it really depends on genre. It depends on what you're using it for. And I also believe it depends on your mixer. Like I said, there are DJs, and I do it sometimes when I'm cutting on one, and I might keep one on, and I might even start using the upfader for the scratching portion. Or if I'm scratching and I want it to volume down, I might do something like that. Like, right? So you're kind of voluming down as you scratch. So just a couple of tips and tricks about which fader we're actually going to use. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at what it looks like to mix with the up faders versus the crossfader. So if you're going to mix with your channel faders or your up faders, you want to make sure that your crossfader stays in the middle. So that way it picks up both lines when you're mixing, right? So I'm going to start on my left deck here, and all right, so we're going to get started. Oops, see, I'm so accustomed to grabbing the crossfader. So I'm trying to scratch with that upfader, and it's not working out for me. Now for my crossfader people. So with crossfaders, I tend to keep my channels up most of the time. If I turn my upfaders down, I'm just trying to make sure I don't accidentally play something I'm queuing up. But most of the time, upfaders are up, just so when that crossfader comes over, then you get that mix. So I'm gonna set my crossfader curve to a scratch fader, and then we're gonna start from the same track again and then go from there. Here we go. whatever's a little bit of blends. I'm going to change that crossfader curve to a blend. And as you can see, when I push that fader over, it becomes a blend fader. All right. So as you can see, it really depends on your personal preference, right? It all depends on what kind of music you're mixing, the style that you're mixing in. It really doesn't matter whether you're using the upfaders or the crossfaders, because I've seen both and I've seen people do well at both. It's not a one versus the other. It's a what are you mixing would be my first question, right? And if it's something that involves a lot of cutting, I would personally say go with the crossfader. That's what it's there for. If you're doing blends, then maybe your upfaders is the way to go. I mean, I do blends on my crossfader as well. Go ahead and put in the comments what you think or what you use. Do you use the upfaders? Do you call it something different? Or do you use the crossfader for when you're mixing? Again, it depends, right? What kind of DJ are you? What are you using it for? Let's help our newer DJs really get an understanding of which fader they should start using. If they ask me, I'm gonna tell them the crossfader because that's where I'm at. I like cutting. If you're gonna cut, use the crossfader. EDM DJs, they may say use the upfaders. Country music DJs, they may say use the upfaders because you're blending in most cases, right? So it all depends on the kind of DJ you are, what you're mixing, what you're blending. Tell them in the comments, let them know what you're using and what genre of music are you mixing. What type of DJ are you? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you don't miss another cheat code. Hey, I'm getting a lot of views, but it seems like a lot of you that are watching the videos aren't subscribers. So if you forgot to hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Make sure you don't miss another cheat code. Yours truly, DJ Mike Marvelous of Marvelous DJs, cheat code.